Thanks for watching Numbskull News, and today we're going to get back into the Pac-12. Apparently, there's a few more issues. Surprise, surprise, a few more issues. Well, I remember the Washington State president said, we really need to get something done by mid-March. If we go past that, this whole thing is just going to get louder and louder. All this realignment, expansion, whatever talk, it's going to get worse. And that was pushing that goalpost back a little further. And it already has been pushed back a million times. Now, Stewart Mandel from The Athletic comes out, says per his sources, they may not get anything done until late spring or early summer. That's June, people. June, early July, July 4th weekend. That's what he's talking about. That's ridiculous. And keep in mind, The Athletic talked about the first team that's going to jump is Arizona. All right. They're not just making shit up over there at The Athletic. All right. I know Stewart Mandel. He can carry a little water for the Pac-12 at times. But and other people involved in The Athletic can as well. But The Athletic is pretty legit when it comes to news and sourcing their stories. When they are talking about that, about June, July, then they're hearing it from somebody pretty high up the food chain. It's not just a bunch of BS. And it makes you kind of wonder, well, we heard something about NBC last week, right? NBC, USA Network, apparently, and this, don't tell me they didn't talk numbers. I guarantee every story you hear, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's Scripps Sports or Fox News. Fox has come back into the fold. ESPN or CBS or whoever it may be. Amazon, Apple TV, whatever it might be. Pluto TV, whatever. Numbers have been bandied about. Nothing, set in stone. Nothing, no pen to paper. But offers and money have to be talked about up front. Why would you start putting a bunch of crap into the hands of lawyers if you don't even know what the monetary value you're talking about is? That doesn't make any damn sense. And over again, what do we keep hearing? We keep hearing, they're going to get a deal done, and then these other schools, before they leave, they're going to have to see what that deal is before they can jump. We all know the Four Corners have already talked to the Big 12. They know what's involved there. They know they would come in on a full share. They know that. And I guarantee you, Oregon and Washington have also talked to the Big 12. They know what the financials are in the Big 12. They know what to expect. All those teams do. Everyone that the Big 12 is interested in know that. So if they all know this, right, why are we pushing it back? All right, why is this can getting kicked down the road into the summer? Folks, it's because there's no deal. There is no deal. All the, so-and-so is talking to the Pac-12. This network is talking to the Pac-12. These people over here are talking to the Pac-12. I'm sure NBC did talk to the Pac-12. But guess what happened? Endeavor buys WWE, and they're going to combine it with the UFC. That's an incredibly valuable property. And right now, USA carries the rights for Monday Night Raw, WWE, and I'm sure they'd like to retain that. And Andrew Marchand has talked about, well, hold on, ESPN might get involved into the WWE and UFC thing and try to get that on their network. Well, all of a sudden, you got other entities entering the market. All right, the NBA's coming up. That's going to be expensive as hell to get the NBA. All right, TNT pays out the ass for them. ESPN drops tons of money on the NBA. Everybody who shows NBA is going to pay a lot of money for those rights. I would say the NBA is the number 3 most popular sport in the country. Right behind the NFL, well, far behind the NFL, and just a little bit ways down from college football. So you got you got the NFL, college football, then you got the NBA, and that's college football in a whole, a totality of it. All the conferences put together is bigger than the NBA. But the NBA against the Pac-12, no, NBA is way more valuable than just one conference, especially the Pac-12. So what you're seeing is people, they're how should I put this? NBC doesn't want to get into a bidding war with anybody. ESPN doesn't want to get into a bidding war with anybody. Really, Amazon doesn't. Apple doesn't. They're going to be very much, look, this is the money we could peel. There you go. That's what we could peel off for you, because we really want to get that WWE and UFC crap. We really want to get the NBA. But you know what? Look, right now we could peel a little bit of this off for you. No problem. But what is it? What are the stipulations to that money? How much money is it? It's not enough money, folks. That's the problem. That's always been the problem. ESPN has offered the Pac-12 multiple times. It's been well publicized. Back last August, they offered them basically the Big 12 deal. They offered them the Big 12 deal. It wasn't good enough. Not for those presidents. And Kliavkoff, he gets a lot of crap, and you know what? He deserves some of it, but not because he hadn't went out and found deals. He found deals. He did his job. The thing he didn't do is sell it to those presidents. Like, hey, and back last August, he just said, look, this isn't the number we want. Going to market is a mistake. Because let me tell you something. The Big 12, all right, they came up early because ESPN and Fox wanted them to come to market early. They were tired of trying to deal with the Pac-12. They said, hey, Yormark, let's talk. Let's see if we can't get something ironed out now. Let's see if we can't get you an extension now so you don't have to worry about it. And, obviously you do that. Now, keep in mind, that's $31.6 million a year per team. All right? It's nowhere near the Big Ten. It's half the Big Ten. It's basically half the SEC money. So, how does Brett Yormark sell that to his to his presidents? Well, you take it to them and say, look, it's not $50 million a year. It's not $40 million a year. It's 31.6. It's a little bit more without Texas and Oklahoma. Keep in mind, a year ago, y'all were dead in the water. When Texas and Oklahoma left, everyone thought the Big 12 was gone. All 8 remaining members thought the Big 12's gone. It's done. It's dead. There's no coming back. When they added the 4 schools they added, everyone thought, well, good luck. You might get 22 a year, maybe for that. Maybe, if you're lucky. So we told them, look, you're going to make a little bit more money. More than you thought you were going to do the year before. You're going to have security. You're not going to have to worry about this. Market fluctuations, everything else. He saw that the Big Ten signed a massive freaking deal. Before that, the SEC signed a massive freaking deal. And they sucked a ton of money out of the market. And I think Yormark, talking to his members, said, look, those 2 conferences have sucked a ton of money out of this bitch. There's not going to be a lot left for that 5th conference. We need to do this. We need to do it now. Because one thing you don't want to do is spit in the face of the top 2 broadcasters of sports in the entire world. That is ESPN. That is Fox. Maximum level exposure is worth more than an extra $5 or $10 million. It really is. It really, truly is worth that. ESPN and Fox, there is nobody, not NBC, not USA Network, damn sure not Amazon or Apple, can give you the kind of exposure that the two biggest sports brands in the world give you. We need to continue the association with these two entities. And that's exactly what they did. And it's turned out to be a genius move. Now, you got all these media companies. Nobody wants to come. You look, people were willing, all right, to try to outbid one another for the Big Ten. Keep in mind, ESPN had to back out. The money got too ridiculous. That's what helped to drive that number for the Big Ten to $1 billion a year. All right, because that's extremely valuable property, and people were willing to bid against one another. People aren't willing to do that for the Pac-12. They're not realizing it. And what I'm thinking, because why would you leak that out, that we're not really going to have anything done till maybe late spring, early summer, June, July. Then maybe we can get a deal. Nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change. You were out of options. All the options have been laid out. All the shitty deals with a lower amount of exposure have all been laid out. Even NBC. Oh, but it's NBC. You're only going to have a game or two a year on NBC. Everything else, it maybe a couple games a week on USA, maybe, and everything else on Peacock. Still, you're going to be over 50% streaming. So that's, of course, a problem. But I think what's happening, they leaked that information out. The Pac-12 leaked out that, hey, it's going to take longer, a lot longer. We're talking summertime longer. And I think they're doing that because I think they want to peel off what they consider dead weight. I'm talking Arizona, possibly Arizona State. Would they like to keep Colorado? I don't know. Maybe. Now Utah's going to hang in there. They've already said it. Someone called up the Monty show, someone high up the food chain. Now, you know what? I believe that conversation happened. I believe Monty had talked to somebody about it. He's proven to be right a few times. He had the freaking president of Scripps come on to his channel and talk to them. So he's proven to be reliable. Now, I don't think all of his sources are legit. I mean, they legit are sources, but sometimes I think they mislead quite a bit. But I have no reason to really doubt that the person who called the Monty show from Utah is like, look, if this thing burns to the ground, we'll leave. They did their due diligence. They talked to the Big 12, had in-depth discussions on everything. What a full membership would be, whatever. They did all that. And at the end of the day, they said, something just didn't seem right. To quote the great Marcellus Wallace, that's pride fucking with you. That's what that is. That's what that feeling was. Pride. But they're gonna hold on as long as possible in the Pac-12. They're gonna wait until some of those big dogs leave for greener pastures, possibly the Big Ten. Until that happens, they're gonna ride or die. Fine. But I do think it's interesting. Josh Neighbors from Locked On Big 12. Very interesting thing he said. He's like, look, right now, yeah, you offer everybody a full membership, full ride into the Big 12. But if you're going to wait, Utah, if it gets down the road, if you're talking damn near a year from now, and then all of a sudden Oregon and Washington, they're gone, or Stanford or Cal goes to the Big Ten, and you're left there holding the bag. Okay, I guess we'll come over here and take this full membership in the Big 12. Ho 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 ho. It's the full membership has been revoked. All right, kind of like that ESPN offer to the Pac-12. That's not on the table anymore. Now will bring you in on a partial deal. On a partial deal, which is going to be better than any place else. It's going to be better than you're going to get out of the Pac-12, what's left of it. So unless you want to be the new big dog in the Mountain West, you can take what we offer you. That's one way to do it. That's one way to do it. Say, hey man, sorry man, we did what we could. I don't know what to tell you, but I think the Athletic had it right. I know the Monty Show pushed back on it quite a bit, but I do believe Arizona's going to jump. This is the month they're going to jump. They're not waiting. I don't see one solitary freaking reason they're going to wait until early summer just to find out what the horrible deal is. They know. They know. And I think they're going to get the hell out of there. And it could be Colorado and Arizona State as well. Utah is going to hang on, like I said, for dear life. And good luck. That's all. That's all I can say is good luck to you. Long story short, there is no deal for the Pac-12. No one's talking about it, but that's a very, very real reality that they never get a deal, because the best deal they could have ever gotten, well, that's been 9 months ago. And nothing has even come close to it since. And it's either too much streaming or too much of this, too less of that. Regardless, it's too little money. And the longer you go, the more desperate you are, the the more people are just going to lowball the hell out of you. And I guarantee you NBC lowballed the shit out of them. If the combo of ESPN and Amazon was going to pay out 24, 25 million a year, I guarantee you NBC came in and offered them 20, 22. I mean, why not? You're not competing with ESPN for the rights. They're out. There is no competition. They're not worried about Apple. NBC ain't worried about Apple. Apple's not worried about NBC. They're like, hey, if go to NBC, they don't care. They don't give a shit. You know, they wouldn't mind trying to grow Apple TV a little bit. Maybe adding in some college sports will be good for it, but they're not going to just chunk a bunch of money in your face to do it. They're not going to make it rain all over Pac-12 country to do it. Nobody is. Nobody is. So that's where we are, and I think it's far more likely that these teams, these presidents that have came out and said, well, we just need to see the deal, there's nothing to see. That's what this news is telling you. There is no deal. Nothing's going to change from now until June, from now until July, from now until 2024. Nothing's going to change. So now is the time to get your ass out of there and do something good for your university, for your athletic program. With Arizona, they got one hell of a basketball program. And they got some other sports that are good. Football needs work. It needs work. But I think that school has the drive and commitment to make it work. Brett Yormark is going to get you paid for basketball like no one else can. It's too easy. It's too easy. Arizona is getting out of there. Athletic is right. They're getting out of there. And I believe Colorado with Prime is going to get out of there. Maybe it may take a few more weeks after that. I think Arizona State's going to come to their senses and say, you know, I think they're right. There is no deal. What are we waiting for? Arizona's already gone. Colorado's gone. Let's get the hell out of here. And then there will be Utah. Just sitting there stewing. Well, no, there's going to be a deal. There's no deal. There's no deal. Yeah, so there's no deal, and now there's no more video. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back with some other crap later. Bye.